Ha! Now the mic's on. Are you guys hyped for these, hopefully, new Tyranids? I say hopefully. I think we'll get them. Let me rotate the camera just a little bit here. I was thinking about this morning while I was making breakfast before I hopped on. Don't worry, sound will be fixed. It's almost surreal. A whole stream potentially dedicated to Tyranids. It seems a little surreal because we haven't got new models. We got the Parasite, and before that we got the Broodlord, and before that I was still in high school when Tyranids got a big model release. We got the Exocrine, and we got the Maliceptor, and we got the Drop Pod, and obviously the Toxicrine and the Haruspex, but that was in high school for me when we got those models, and those were the big releases. I guess we did technically redone Hive Guard, Tyrant Guard, Zoanthropes, and Venomthropes in between that, but those aren't new models. It has been so long, it just doesn't feel like it could be happening. Now, as to the question, is it going to be Tyranids? Is it going to be Space Marines? Technically what they said is the winner will be shown off first in a stream. I think the winner is going to be shown first and the loser will be shown second, and we'll see everything today. So watch Tyranids and Space Marines today. So I think we're getting everything. What are you guys most excited for? I'm seeing some comments of the Norn Emissary is the big one. I think that is probably what I'm looking forward to. If that's not the Lord of War, I'm thinking I want the Lord of War to be shown off, but also I really want to see what Shrikes look like. I want to see if Shrikes have weapon options, or they're just going to be like weird versions of the Prime. I don't know. This is cool. This is cool. Also, when sound starts, let me know, because I have not really done too much testing with the sound. I can obviously change it. I can adjust the desktop audio when it happens, but just let me know if you want that sound lower than me, or do you just want to listen to them outright and then I will pop in and turn the sound down. Just let me know. Yes, how many new Primaris Lieutenants will we see today? You know, I'm looking transport. That would be cool. Some sort of transport model besides our Titans and our pods. That would be something that would be interesting to see happen. I don't know how they would do it. I mean, we don't anymore. I say the Turvan kind of is, but not really. Flying Warriors is one. Plastic Dimakaron, that would be wild. I don't have my hopes up for something like that, but yeah, that would be a cool one. Yeah, 15 years ago, back Kit Bashed Shrikes, back when they were in the original, or not the original, the 5th edition codex. Maybe, were they in the 4th edition codex? I didn't play until the 5th, so I don't know before that. But yeah, I remember those models. What else we got? Oh yeah, the Biovore. I'm curious on the Biovore because I kit bashed my own Biovores, and I actually don't mind the Pyrovore model as it is. Yeah, it's a little dated, but honestly, I think it holds up just fine. So that would be, that'd probably be the kit I buy last, is the new Biovore Pyrovore kit, if it is truly a multi-part plastic kit. But yeah, something like that. New Carnifexes. Wolfell mentioned that. Some new Carnifex type kit. That was something I thought of when we saw the new Screamer Killer kit. Would we see a new Carnifex kit and we have old One Eye like his original model? Maybe. I'm a little limited on water, so I gotta be careful with it. Melee gargoyles, that would be wild. That would be really cool, actually. I never thought of that. A true new Swarmlord model that would be bigger, look really cool. I don't think we'll get a new Swarmlord, but I do think we'll get this Norn Emissary thing, / whatever the other one is, and that will be our new Swarmlord. Essentially, if my understanding of the lore with the Emissary is, so you've got the Hive Tyrants who show up and, you know, they're rare, but they lead the battle. And then every once in a while you get the Swarmlord, they need a better Hive Tyrant. And then the Emissary is like, okay, maybe they need a better Tyrant, and they get the Norn Emissary. So that would be cool. Oh, Soda, don't get my hopes up. The Doom of Malantai. Oh, I would cry. I would shed a tear if they brought the Doom of Malantai back. I have the fondest memories from when I first started playing of the Doom of Malantai. He is one of probably the sole reasons I didn't quit on the Tyranids when I first started playing them, because I had so much fun with him. Because Tyranids in 5th edition were not good except for him. He was the backbone of the Tyranid army. Oh, maybe I should have got more water. Oops. You know, the Genestealer Kill Team box would be interesting too. There are rumors that it might be something like a, I don't remember, were people thinking it would be an old like Space Hulk type thing with Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators and those? That could be. Norn Emissary is probably like a Primarch. That's true. That is a good way to put it, essentially. I honestly didn't read. I saw some videos on the Norn Emissary lore, but I didn't read it myself, so I don't know all of it. Lore, for me, there's the three phases, or 3 parts of the 40k hobby. There's the lore, there's the tabletop game, and there's the modeling, painting, conversion, all that. For me, the tabletop and the modeling, painting, conversion are way up here, and the lore is like down here. I've never been big on lore for 40k. Not that I don't think it's good. I think it's great lore. It's just something I've never been huge at, just kind of my style. But yes, that would be good. I think it would be cool. I don't think we'll see any of the only Forge World kit we'll see in plastic, I think, today are the old strikes. That's the only thing, and it's technically not even the Forge World kit, it's just they made it. It won't be a 1-to-1, but that's the only thing I can think of. I think the Dimakaran will probably disappear for a long time, and so will the Malanthrope, unfortunately. I have my one Malanthrope, and I have my Kit Bash Dimakaran, but that's cool enough, I guess. It's unfortunate to see them go. What do we got? We got 6 minutes. What does it look like here? 6,000 viewers on the Warhammer one. Doesn't count all you 126 awesome people. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to hit that like button, because on YouTube live streams, that's the best way to get this one out to more people. But yes, we will be doing... Actually, you know, I've been really enjoying the live stream, so we'll try and keep them up. I can't guarantee every week, like it kind of has been, but they are nice to do, especially on a Saturday morning. All of you UK European people, this is like middle of the afternoon for you. For me, I woke up, made breakfast, hopped down here, and ready to stream. We get this over with. I can plan out how much money I need to save, because we're going to see a lot of kits coming, and then I can carry on the rest of my Saturday as is. 6 minutes start, get more water. Okay, thank you, Chris Hogan. Hydrate or dihydrate, as we used to say. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. Thank you for making me get water. Need to stay hydrated. Hydrate or die straight. Ooh, while we load, let's see. I can show you the studio as it's coming along. Still working on getting some of the things together, like the dice cam, obviously, and scoreboard is not there. See some top-down stuff. Obviously, where you see the big online is where the scores will be, and ignore this black bit here. We're just working on making a little shelf thing for the dice box, so it's not, you know, we have a good place for it. But yeah, progress will be done. Hopefully, we record the first battle report on Tuesday, so it'll be out the following Monday for you guys. But yes, I'm getting hyped. We won't have the logo for the first battle report, but that's okay. Still work in progress on getting that exactly how I want it. Thank you, Red Soul. Thank you. So that's something you guys have been pointing out, that new units or just refreshed units. Here in my mind, I have always been thinking just refreshed units and then maybe 1 or 2 new units. But if we go off of the Necrons, they actually had a significant number of new units. Now, I think a lot of the majority of our new units actually came in the Leviathan box. So, unfortunately, I don't know how many new units we'll be seeing, but we'll still get a ton of refresh stuff. Maybe some old things brought back like strikes, but I don't know how many new things outside of maybe a Lord of War and this Norn Emissary thing. The reveal, it starts in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I should have had a countdown here. Yes, the Hierophant does take up basically a whole shelf by himself there. They had a 3rd wave too, so it'll be like early next year for a 3rd wave. Necrons? Necrons had a 3rd wave? Well, appreciate the comments about better commentary. I like to think I'm getting better at this whole commentary thing. Never thought I'd be someone as a kid who's someone who sits in front of a camera. Not as my full-time job, but as a part-time hobby job. Yeah. Yeah, the new Leviathan models are very good. They have... I like the smooth carapace of like the Maleceptor and stuff, but the new carapace that just have all that texture, it makes contrast painting so good on it. I haven't played around with it too much. I want to. It's live. Why is mine not live? Do I have to refresh or something? What's going on here? Ah, thank you guys. Oh, we gotta watch an ad. I don't get any ad revenue for this. Lucky. Audible. Can you guys hear them? What a birthday for you. Yukai 2011, happy birthday. No sound. Oh. Heh. How about now? I wonder if it's too low.
Well, thank you ever so much for tuning in, guys. I can see there's absolutely loads of you in the chat already, which is really cool. Over 10,000 of you, 12,000. If you played a game at home and you're in the chat, let us know how your game went. You know, some people might have just played a game.
Very quiet. Okay.
Game and sent the results in. So if you played a game, let us know how your game went.
More volume.
Love your energy, it's great. Do let us know where you're tuning in from as well, guys. It's always great to do these previews and see thousands of Warhammer fans tune in from all over the world. It's really, really great. One of the nice things about this battle is that every Leviathan box in the whole world had a code in. So we did genuinely have entries from, I think, almost every continent in hundreds of countries. So yeah, great to see that. Loads of people tuning in. Watching on Texas. Nottingham, Germany.
Alright, I'm trying, guys.
Anybody's tuning in from the Tacoma? Of course, yeah. It might be quite early in the morning to cover open right now, but they could be working on it. The other thing that's happening this weekend is the Tacoma Open in America, and after this show later on in the day, there will be live stream games of Warhammer 40,000 as well. So this doesn't satiate your desire for live Warhammer 40,000 content. You want to watch some games as well. Stick around for a few hours, and the Tacoma Open well. A few more people to do shout outs for. On camera today and helping us run the stream, we have Nick, who is helping make sure all the technical bits work properly.
My audio mixer won't take their audio up any higher.
And if you're not nice to him, then he'll kick you out. So be on your best behaviour.
Oh wait, here we go.
Okay. Right. A few minutes to kill before we get to the results. Alex, what 40,000 hobby have you been up to?
Well, as we said, we're building the Leviathan box. As a Salamander's player, was desperate for these flamethrower space marines, the burner squad. I've converted 2 Salamanders.
Nice. What's the nature of the conversions?
Lots of fire, if anything's got a sword. It's not more accurate, but
I reckon they've still got a few kicking around.
So the ones that they brought in for
Is it better?
just absolutely fantastic on the Terminators.
Well, one of the nice things about the Stern Guarding.
Rule of cool for heads. Absolutely.
Armor shoulder pads and some Mark 7 helmets. It's a nice salamander.
For context, I'm double the volume. Oh, okay.
You've got some flamethrowers. That's cool. Let us know as well, guys, if you've managed to paint your Leviathan setup. We have seen some very industrious hobbyists who've already managed to kind of fully prime and paint. Well done to you if you have fully painted either the whole set or even half of that set.
Yeah, I've got the volume cranked up pretty high on my end too, so must be partially their end.
Color scheme, so they're very kind of like vivid greens and blues and reds. So kind of an assault on the senses. So the assault phase starts at color selection.
You also painted Screamer Killer on its own, didn't you?
I did. When I was a kid, looking in like the window of Games Workshop Liverpool, there was a Screamer Killer in the cabinet, and I always really, really wanted one. And because I was only 9, I couldn't afford it. But now I'm a grown up and I can buy my own things. So I bought one and I painted it up in the classic colour palette. So yeah, He doesn't fit anything else in my collection. He doesn't fit in my army. He'd look very silly if I put him on the battlefield, but I now have him in my cabinet at home.
I remember a friend of the family gave me the Tyranids when I first started, and he was one of them. These arms kept coming on.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it must be.
So heavy, and I regret when I traded him.
Yeah, it's definitely on there. And my computer volume themselves, mine is up probably twice as high as I normally have it to hear them. So it must be.
Yeah. But yeah, both very cool models. Very cool.
I can try cranking
See if anyone else in the chat there has managed to.
my volume down a bit.
They've successfully completed their armies. That's cool. If you have finished painting your forces, either the Tyranid or the Space Marine, do share it on social media. Hashtag painting Warhammer 40k. It's always really nice to kind of just click on the hashtags and look through what one has been up to. Yeah, very cool. What's your next Warhammer 40,000 project?
To finish them, I have some orcs, actually. It's
Nice.
the first time I've painted any orcs in about 20 years.
Listen out. Listen out.
I know. It's your love for them, actually. It's
Oh, that's
so I've grabbed the orc kill team.
sorry.
Yeah, about 50% done. There was an awful lot of stuff on my list.
Have you painted the Squig yet?
No.
So the Squig and the Grot are not only just the best models in the game, but also like game winners, genuinely awesome. That Grot is almost without fail every single game nets me about 3 or 4 points, which is about half the point to score. But you know that's not the important thing. He's a king. He's clutch. Absolutely.
What about yourself?
So I've got I've been painting some Genestealer cults recently. So I've been expanding the army a little bit because they're really fun to play with the new edition. So I've already got quite a big army of those. I'm adding some things in. So I've got the Bridge Runner. And,
Alright, let's try
and then after that, I've got a big.
this here.
So we have everything on jet bikes, all in kind of glorious Samhan red.
I'll turn my volume
Again,
down a bit.
Basically, all of my projects that I do are things that I wanted to do.
And you guys
so I remember,
can
I think it was
turn the volume of
third
the
edition
stream up.
Warhammer 40,000 rulebook had like
Maybe
a really
that'll be
glorious
okay.
spread of the Wild Riders, just filling a whole page across
Maybe.
a nice
Maybe that'll be
battlefield, and it just
okay.
looked awesome. And you also had the Craftworld expansion for Codex Eldar that had the Flameheart character on his little weird jet bikey conversion thing. So I'm going to see if I can fit him in as well.
That's very cool.
But yeah, it's probably not the best way to run an Eldar army. But
Now it's perfect?
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Well-
I spend my time on there. It's going to make them look real pretty.
That's it. At the end of the day, it's
I've got,
thematic.
I've got a nice
I'm
big
not
orc
the
army
most
that I'm happy
techie
to play
guy,
with. I've got a
so
Genestealer army, and they're having a good time.
We'll see what I can do.
need
I'm
to
still
rush
learning
around and
everything
take my
here
time.
with all the stuff.
Make them good.
Better?
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Cool. All right. How are we doing for time? Oh, we are closing in. I think we've got about 1 minute left before we can get to our first reveal video. If you are watching in the chat, guys, do let us know what Warhammer 40,000 projects you're up to as well. If anything catches your eye, Alex, you want to
Warhammer
shout out
40,000
any
projects
particularly
are
cool
you up
projects
to?
that we'll do. Show up.
I got barb gaunts I'm
Lots of
painting
people-
today.
I think, yeah, lots of people liking.
Is somebody asking
Great.
which cult have you gone for?
Glad the volume's
So
working.
I started painting my Genestealers when Deathwatch Overkill came out. So at that point, none of the cults had been established. So I sort of made my own up to fit with the Tyranid army that I'd started painting before that.
For
So it's the Cult of the Mantis. Which is the,
C007PS,
a subsidiary
number
of
one. I
High
don't know
Fleet
how to
Mantis, which
say
is my
that.
Tyranid High Fleet.
For Carnifexes,
So yeah,
tail
I made
doesn't
'em up
really
because there wasn't any
matter.
IP when I started.
Head doesn't matter.
But there's loads of cool stuff now. And if I was doing it again,
Back
I'd probably
carapace
do
doesn't
Bladed
matter. The only thing
Cog.
that matters
Because
is
I really
two,
like the idea of
forearms
having
you have on
kind of
them.
uprising on a
That's what I would
Mechanicus,
say.
battlefield and mixing lots of bionic-y stuff in. But that didn't exist when I started, so I didn't think of it. So if I was doing it from scratch, that's what I do, but I didn't, so I haven't.
Hey,
There's a
yeah,
lot
you.
of people that seem to have started Tyranids.
Because I think they're awesome, right?
Well, to be fair, they come
Nice.
Yeah, but
Working out that
as I
display
say, I
board.
am an impartial observer.
Of course.
Space Marines equally cool. They're both
Turn
great.
myself up a little bit now.
Right, okay. We can.
I'll do it a little bit there.
I think. Thank you ever so much for tuning in, guys. We can now cut to our first video, which will announce
like Barbie.
the winner of the battle for Ogram. So hold on to your seats, guys. I'm gonna roll for
Seat held.
As the
Ooh.
Grendulous tendril uncoiled across the Formidire system, its ravenous swarms descended upon the hive world of Ogram. The planet's skies darkened with spore storms and billion-strong swarms of winged biohorrors, and it seemed Ogram was surely doomed. Yet, the Imperial defenders stood firm. For every tide of Tyranids that overran artillery emplacements or boiled through
Is that a
breaches in
barb cunt
Imperial
killing a
fortifications,
Terminator?
Another was crushed beneath the
Or
treads
neural
of
Gaunt, I
guns
should say.
of massed tank formations, strafed to ruin by relentless wings of gunships, or cut to pieces by coordinated space marine strikes. The hunger of the great devourer is not so easily denied. Like a wounded beast, the Tyranid swarms reacted as
Look at
one
that neural Gaunt
and
trying to take
lashed
out a...
with ferocious force.
No,
In
that will
the
never
minutes
happen in
past
game.
hours, what vital relics and personnel could be salvaged were extracted from Ogram at great cost in rearguard troops and escorting void
I never
ships.
noticed him in the
They left
background.
behind a world that seethed with Tyranids in their billions.
Woo! Let's go, boys!
Ogram was doomed. With its fall, the entire Formidire system, including the vital anchor world of Sanctum, was placed in greater peril than ever before. Reinforcements are coming. And
Ooh.
there is a whole galaxy
Ooh,
to
what
fight
was that? That wasn't Death Leaper. What was that? I don't think that was a Death Leaper.
So there we go. The results of the battle for Ogram
Let's
are in. It is
go.
a Tyranid victory. So congratulations for all of you who were rooting for the Tyranids and who contributed and played your games, sent in your results. Thanks so much for all of you who joined in. Really cool to be able to be part of this kind of cool moment. And then you can see there we've got some kind of lore as well that kind of establishes that planet, which is in your Warhammer 40,000 rulebook, by the way. I can't remember the exact page number, but you can go in there.
Been a pretty
with
lame
your
stream
purple
if
pen and
Space
scribble
Marines
out.
won and they didn't show
It's
any
been
Tyranids.
consumed. So a few bits of details for you guys who are tuning in. A Tyranid victory, of course. We had over 44,000 results registered, which is really
40?
cool.
40?
Early on in the
34,000?
campaign, it was
They sold
very,
34,000
very, very
boxes
close,
of Leviathan.
incredibly close. The lead changed several times in the first week, and at several points there was like 1 or 2 votes in it, and it was we had thousands of entries, and it stayed within about 10 votes of each other for ages and ages, and kept like swapping. The Space Marines edged ahead at the end of the first week.
That's
and I think
so
at
much
that point
money.
We put an update out into the world and said this is the results as it stand. Space Marines ever so slightly ahead, and at that point that seemed to galvanise the
$8.5 million
Tyranid players and
US.
fan base perhaps, and then we started to see the results swing in slightly the other direction. And once that snowball started, it didn't really stop, and the Tyranids came out on top. So final result: 53% to the Tyranids, 47% to the Space Marines.
Show
So
us
there you
something.
go, guys. There you go.
Show us.
Awfully close. I remember asking for an update a little while ago, and you said that
Stop talking.
Literally,
Show us the
18
bugs.
games in it, and given the thousands and thousands of games. Has any of our campaigns ever been that close?
I think this is probably the closest one we've had. Certainly early on. What quite often happens is that after about one day, it's very apparent which way the wind is blowing.
Yes.
Right. So we were like, oh. It makes our lives much easier as well because we get to plan this event really far out. We know all the things that are going to happen. But you really kept us guessing right up until the last results were coming in. So yeah, very, very close, very tense, and really cool. But thanks ever so much for tuning in, guys. What that means is 2 things. The first of them is that some of the people who entered will actually win some prizes, which is cool.
I hope
those
that's
people
me.
have been reached out to already. So
Aw,
keep an eye out
it's not
on
me.
your inbox for that. We've got 5 winners basically who get to win cool stuff for entering,
Very
which is
cool.
cool. But what most people have tuned in for today is to have a look at the the new miniatures for the winning faction. So we can now take a look at some of the new Tyranids. We have a few
What is
videos
this?
to run through. Quite
What
a
is
few
this ad?
new things on the way for Tyranids.
Get this out
so
of
without
here.
further ado, let's have a look at the first film.
Oh, here we go. Oh, baby. Look at those. Look at those.
So,
That was
some
quick.
brand new Genestealers. So, very, very cool. Genestealers, obviously, an
Don't want
absolutely iconic part
Oh, yes.
of Warhammer 40,000 lore. Alex, you know all about Genestealers.
Okay.
What are these guys about?
Yeah, so these guys, as you said, they've been around for ages. In fact, they were possibly
Okay,
one of the
here we
first
go.
things that the Imperium
They're on
encountered,
32s.
For the high fleets.
They
on
look
Vanguard,
good.
where They assumed that
They
these
look
were
great,
sort of
actually. I really-
inhabitants. But then they featured.
Look at the size of
Tyranid,
the hand
they
on that
basically featured
dude.
in every high fleet that's come along since.
Hot damn.
Possibly the most, I wouldn't necessarily say common, but
Of widespread.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
One,
you'll
two,
often
three,
get them,
four,
say, hiding away on transport ships. There'll be
I can't complain.
hive where they're just awaiting the day of ascension with the cult, or there'll be, say, a whole colony of them on a space hulk. So these guys could be anywhere, and they probably are everywhere.
Yeah. So if you're in the 41st millennium, you're probably never more than about 20 meters from a Genestealer. Is that what you say?
That's not what I would say for imperial reasons, but
Fair enough.
quite possibly.
Yeah. But this is a really exciting kit for a bunch of reasons. One of them is that it's great every time we see like a really classic kit.
Do you guys
reimagined.
want me to
These are
mute them
really
and then
cool
I talk
dynamic
over
miniatures.
this, or do
It's
you
been a long
want
time coming
to
for a new
listen to them?
Genestealer kit. Obviously, you can use these in a few ways. You can absolutely put them straight into your Tyranid army as Genestealers.
Oh, yes.
I'm quite sure that a lot of Genestealer cult players like myself will also be eyeing these up for pure strain Genestealers because they fit perfectly well into a Genestealer cult's force. There's a few things worth calling out about the kit itself, aren't there?
Yes.
So I think we've got some close-ups in the next picture, so we can talk
Here
about
we go.
some of the options, which I think for the
Ooh.
most part are aesthetic,
Yes.
but still you can lean into and make this unit the one you want it to be.
Indeed. So you can see there in the top left the Imgal head with those little feeder tendrils, so that if there's any brain matter left, it can gobble
Delicious
it up
brain.
and see
Yummy
what's going on.
brains.
And I believe there is a
All right, I muted them. I'll keep one headphone in so I can hear what they're doing. I think hearing both is fine.
Or
All right,
you've kind of lent
you guys can
into
hear them
that
both.
kind of horrors from the deep kind of vibe for your. So
I really
Tyranids,
like these.
and
I
you've
wish
got
they'd
lots
go
of
back to a
lictors and
different
Death
picture.
Leaders and stuff like that. Then you can lean quite
I
heavily
love
into that
young
aesthetic
girl
and
head
go for
in
tentacle
here.
face.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
That
we've got
is
down at the bottom here.
quite nice.
So is this
The heads look
proboscis that they
good.
can
It
use
really
to
looks like they did keep.
I think it is, yeah. So that's the thing that's going to be
thought of
implanting the
the
eggs into the
the
unfortunate
recent
hosts.
sculpts.
Probably
or
best
the
not to think too much about
recent,
exactly
were they
how that works and
2000
exactly what it means for
sculpt
the
and
for
turn
the
them
host.
into
But
this
yeah,
one. They aren't 32
unpleasant things happen
millimeters.
to you basically once
They
once
have to
Genestealers
be
get
based
within,
on the size here.
within a meter or so.
That's it. You've recruited for the cult or the.
I
Yeah,
can't
somebody in the
complain.
chat's just
It's
called me
a
ovipositor.
very
That is
sensible
indeed the correct name.
update.
Yes, the place that
They're
eggs
nothing
come from.
crazy out
So
of this
a
world.
few colour schemes on there as well. Obviously, Genestealers have their kind of
But-
normal,
but
very
I
recognisable purple and blue
They do
palette,
look
which is the
good.
one you can see top left there. That is the one they tend towards when they're left kind of out in Space Hulks and things by themselves, which is quite kind of ties in quite nicely to the old Leviathan
Corn
colour
face
scheme.
looks the same.
But you can also paint them obviously in line with whatever Hive Fleet you've got. So if you've got Hive Fleet
Yes,
Kraken,
the
as you can see
motion.
there
They're
on the
not
right,
so static.
They look perfectly
Even though they
cool
did have running
around
poses,
in,
they did look pretty
carapace,
static.
bone and red,
These guys look
or whatever
much
other
better,
colour palette
much
you've got
better.
for, Hive Fleet.
Minimal
I love the
tactical
dynamism
rocks,
of these.
some
As you
tactical
said, 'cause
rocks, which
these
is
are obviously
okay.
like an update of an old kit that, yeah, it had some great running kind of poses to it. But these
Yeah,
now,
you're gonna.
you can
some of those
imagine running
bases are
through
gonna be
Space Hulk corridor, or
a little
ship
tippy.
coming
You're gonna need to put
bursting
something
through a
on the
door,
base
and
or
there's a
the
couple of
underside of
them
the
that
base
say
to keep
jump
them
up
balanced.
peaks,
For me, I have my putty and
walls, that kind
magnet,
of
so
thing.
that
This
should
really
have
does
them under
feel
there.
like these guys,
But,
you can see there on the right, that they're coming
Yeah,
straight for you.
I'm happy
I
with
like
these. I'll,
the elongated arms they've got as well. So I think
I'll
if you look
have
at
to
the,
pick
the
up
length
10
of
of them.
the
Do I
talons and the
need
length of the
them?
arms
No, I
compared
already
to
have
maybe
40
some of the
Steelers,
older
but maybe I
Genestealers
guess I
we've
could
got,
go
they
for
seem
50. You know,
more
wait.
alien and more weird.
Yes.
So they've got that kind of
I'll just replace
weird
some of my really
Tyranid,
old, ugly
arm,
ones
and then
because you
they've
can
got
only
much more
do 30
human-looking
now.
digits that you can imagine opening doors.
Yeah,
and things.
gone are the
They're
days
just like
of
absolutely horrible, terrifying monsters.
60
from space.
Genestealers. You only do
But
30
I'm
of them
absolutely
now,
gonna get
so
my armies, so it's going to be great. Right, so that's one unit. That was cool. It's nice to see some new Genestealers.
Yeah.
That's tick one off the nostalgia list for Tyranids. I think there's might be a few more things on the way. Let's have a look at the next unit.
Let's go. Oh, hover guns. Fuck yeah. Oh, I swore. Let's go. Oh, I like those. Wait. Ooh. Alternate. Okay, the other guns. Spike rifles. Oh my god.
So
Those
some
spike
new Gaunt
rifles?
options for
And the-
your
the
Tyranids.
flamers
There is
for
a
the
new
Gaunts?
multi-part Hormigant unit, which is very cool, and you've got an expansion to the Termagant unit that we saw first in the Leviathan set. So if we have a look at the Hormigants first, so this
Nice.
is a kit that has been in plastic for a little while.
Oh, you
but
get a Ripper
certainly
with this
has been
group
showing its
now.
age a bit. So
Yes.
very cool to see a new, much more detailed, very cool, very dynamic unit of Hormagaunts. They are absolutely recognisably the Hormagaunts that you kind of imagine in your mind, but the level of detail on them, the dynamism, the speed that they're kind of displaying is just much more kind of a
I like them.
2 decades more miniature development, I suppose, versus the last time we saw Hormagaunts.
So yeah, these guys, they're the
I'm gonna
basic
be
afterline
honest.
for the Tyranids, and they'll get dropped onto
Some of these
planets
guys,
and
I don't.
ships, you
Their
name it,
talons look a
they're
little too
billions.
curved for me.
And
I don't
they
know.
make
Maybe
up
get
for
to see
the
them
quality
rotated a
with
little bit. Some of
quantity.
them look a little
And they've
goofy.
got all the teeth,
I think.
claws, because even though
But just
they're a
maybe I
little
need
bit
to see them
fragile,
rotated a little bit.
take fire and they'll die, but you know, if you put 10,000 of them on the other side of the battlefield, they're just going to wash over it like a wave.
Yeah, and they're quite fast as well, so
Yes.
they tend to be the wave of Gaunts that kind of hits first to tie up enemy units.
Yeah,
so
these are
they're
definitely
pretty
on
deadly if
28
you're fighting
millimeter
against something
bases.
like Guardsmen or Guardians
These are
or
definitely
Fire
up on
Warriors or something.
28,
They can
so I'm
definitely
glad I
chop up
didn't
light
build
enemy
my
infantry. But the thing
40
that they
Gaunts
kind of excel at really
from
is just getting
Leviathan,
loads of them up into the middle of
because
the enemy
now
army,
I can
tying
just
up tanks,
put
stopping stuff moving.
all these new
If you're playing a
weapons
game
on those Gaunts when
these
I
are great
buy
to kind of
some of
block
these
units and
kits.
go in near objectives and that sort
Means
of
I'm
stuff.
gonna have to
So
buy
a really
some of
cool
those
unit
kits.
on a lot
Ooh.
of people's bucket list as well for
yes.
the Tyranid units they wanted to see. So there you go.
Yeah, I think they are a little
some more of
skinny.
those on the way. There's a nice closer look at some of those units.
Okay,
So there's
now
miniatures.
I like 'em.
Some of them in
Now
a very
I
cool
like
kind of
them.
jumping pose as
Yes.
well. Which we
I
haven't
do
really seen
like
before.
those. I like
And
the
of course you
jumping
get a Ripper Swarm.
poses.
And a
as
Ripper
well.
Swarm, yeah. So a few of the Tyranid units come with a Ripper Swarm. So by the time you've kind of collected a Tyranid army, you will have enough Rippers to kind of put together a unit just by
I like
dint of
it.
having collected the
I
rest
do
of the
like 'em.
miniatures.
An entire Ripper army.
I mean, you could try to do a Ripper
I'm
army. I'm not
saying it
sure.
would be competitive, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
sure,
I
why
like
not?
these
Go
guys.
for it.
I think
You
they
do, Alex,
look
that's fine.
very
So there you go.
dynamic.
So Hormagaunts, very cool. We've also got some new Termagants. So
Look at that.
Termagants, obviously, we've seen the first of those new
Wait a
Termagant
minute.
miniatures
What the
in
heck?
Leviathan box. But this kit has got a few extra
What
things that
the
Leviathan
heck?
set
He's
didn't
got a
have.
barb
So,
gun
Alex,
gun.
do you want to talk us through
yes.
what's new?
So as we saw in the Leviathan kit, they've all got flesh borers. So that's basically like a little borer beetle that's inside and flings itself
What?
out and then chews its way through the target. Whereas you get several different options in this one. You've got the classic kind of spine fists, firing out little bits of chitin at the enemy. You've got the Devourers that you can see there on the vast majority of them.
Instead of
that-
one beetle, it's just fires loads of grubs.
Yeah, like that, the end of that gun is basically just like rotting meat. And so when it fires
Okay.
those out, then
Can you guys see my
starts
mouse?
burrowing. There's a lot of burrowing
Yeah.
involved. If it's not acid, if it's not
No.
digestive fluids, it's probably something that's going to burrow.
Spike rifles.
But you've also got, you can see there on the left, that chap there with the shard launcher. So it's basically the same kind of parasitic weapon that we've seen with the barb gaunts. You've got in the middle there is the strangle web launcher,
What?
and then you've got the spike rifle. There
Oh my
next to it.
gosh.
I believe you've got one of these, but the old
Yeah,
school
so,
version.
so some of these are really deep cut harks back to some of the very early Termagant miniatures that
Yeah.
came out in metal in
What?
second edition, I think it was.
Look at
so I've got a
that.
very old Termagant at home with a spike rifle, and effectively what these options do is they throw in some special weapon options effectively into your Termagants. So much in the same way that you might have a Space Marine squad or an Astra Militarum squad with like a plasma gun in it or a flamer or something. They give you a little bit of tactical flexibility to kind of throw in some other weird symbiote weapons. They just look kind of cool as well. So you've got some.
I
a bit
do
more option
really
and
like the look of
flexibility
the
in terms
spike
of what you
rifle.
wanna do with
That
Tyranid
looks
unit,
really
which,
good.
If you've been enjoying Tyranids for 20 plus years, also has like a nice little nostalgia.
I love the way the weapons are moulded. So the way the Tyranids tend to work is
I
the
love
weapons
the
are
spike
actually a
rifle look.
separate life form.
So we got a
to the,
flamer,
main
we've got a
of
rifle,
the Tyranid.
and we've got a
And
blast
you can
gun.
see here just the way
Interesting.
basically like flesh tubes come in and out of the
Yes.
guns.
Yeah, they're pretty grim.
It's just obviously we've improved the way we can make plastic.
I don't think the new weapon is
this
gonna.
level of
I don't think the
definition
units are
into
getting any expensive
It's
with
just
the addition of
absolutely
these weapons.
Yeah, I think
Honestly.
the paint scheme on these. So these are the new weapons. Basically, got a nice close up on it.
If this is like
the paint
a
schemes on these is really nice as well.
1
so you've got,
per
like,
10
you
type
can tell where
thing.
the one creature starts and one creature
Nah,
stops.
I
Sort of
think-
thing, so that the heavy metal team obviously have done a wonderful job of capturing
I think
that.
it won't change the price
if
at
you
all.
wanted to paint these much faster, you'd be well within your rights to just go. Actually, you know what? Everything that's chitin is one color, and the armor plates are a different color. So you could paint these up very quickly if you wanted to with contrast paints and things, or if you wanted to kind of take your time over them and really make them beautiful models. I think you.
Oh, get out of here,
could.
ads.
I really like the spike rifle. I think it's just pure nostalgia for me. That's really cool. But the one top right. Sorry, remind me of the name on.
That is the Strangleweb.
The Strangleweb. I love how the tube is coming out of him into the gun
The
in a sort of really
tube.
weird
You guys in your
parasitic sort of way. So
tubes.
a lot of the Tyranid weapons aren't. It's not like a
Interesting.
happy, partnership, is
Yes.
it? It's kind of sucking the life force out of the host beast to power
Interesting.
the weaponry.
They really
But then
are
these guys
turning
are essentially
termagants
dispensable.
with
Oh,
this
yeah, it's fine.
into a
But
lot
he's
less
just a walking
of a
battery for a gun, right? Basically.
The
lot less of a
Tyranids,
just
when they were originally
bodies
created,
to
were kind of,
actually
fighting,
have some tactical
in
flexibility
the
with them.
Tyranids'
They were like
main
white blood
bioships
cells, weren't
themselves.
they? They were like they running through to
Interesting.
kind of do the jobs and tasks of the circulatory system.
And
almost.
it's
Interesting.
really nice to see
I was
difference
not
between
expecting
the Hormagaunts
this.
and the Termagants and the way the bodies are constructed, because obviously they're all Gaunts. But these guys, they're a little bit more crouched down and compact for getting through those tiny tunnels, whereas the Hormagaunts are a little bit more spread out. They're jumping, they're leaping. You can see the speed.
I bet this
So when
gun
the hive
is
ships are
identical
kind of in
to the
void,
barb gun,
it tends to be the Termagants
except
are the
it
things that
doesn't
wake
give
up.
off
They're
the.
kind of
It doesn't have the
trolls
special
that
rule.
are running around the hive ship
That's
and doing the
my
tasks
my
and
thought. It's just
cleaning
a
out any
blast
kind of
weapon.
Body who's foolish enough to try and board
You
a
got
hive
a
ship.
sniper
I
rifle,
can't think of much worse, to
maybe?
be honest. But I mean, some people might try it.
and you got a flamer.
Deathwatch should probably give it a good go.
Yeah, they'd give it a go. Yeah,
And then you just swarm them with Termagants.
absolutely. Right, that's very cool. I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule, but I think we it's okay. We can probably jump ahead to our next
Show
one.
us some
so
more.
we've seen some new Genestealers. We've seen some
Pyrovores
new
and
Gaunts.
biovores. That's next.
Here's some slightly bigger stuff.
Pyrovores and biovores. Oh, lictors! Come on. Nice. Holy crap. There's Death Leaper. Oh, what the hell is that? What is that? Another lictor? What is it? Oh my gosh, I love it. What was that?
So, lictors obviously have been a big part of the Tyranid force pretty much since they've been with us in Warhammer 40,000. But it's not just one new lictor we've got for this new edition. Already,
looks
we've
so
seen the Von Ryan
good.
Leapers, which we saw in the Leviathan
Oh my
box
gosh.
set and the starter sets for Warhammer 40,000. We also have classic lictor.
Yes.
So, Alex, what are these guys about?
So the Lictor is basically, it's sort of the original Vanguard organism. The
It looks
Lictors show
so
up on
good.
different planets. They've got chameleonic skin, so they can blend in, hide. They can assassinate key targets, cause a bit of mayhem. But they can also, you can see there with the feeder tendrils, that say they've killed the commander. Pop off the head, eat the brain, get some information, send it back to the Hive Fleet.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then they're the equivalent of, say,
Oh, I have
assassins
3
and
old
scouts.
lictors. I'm
So
gonna
you've
need to
got
get
the lay
more
of
of
the land,
these.
You've got some information.
Oh,
and
it's
of course
so
some trouble.
good.
So these guys, yeah, they scout well ahead, sort of in the same way that Genestealers do, but the outcomes are very different.
Yeah, so you'd have a few of the. Once you've basically got a few lictors on your planet, they also send like kind of call out don't they, to the
Yes.
Hive Fleet. So they tend to kind of somehow infiltrate into the planet ahead of time.
Look
If
at
there's lots of juicy
that.
biomass, they'll scout it out, not just calling the fleet in, but also kind of getting key
Wow.
intel, literally pulling information out of the minds of enemy commanders and things.
It's often one of the troubles when you've got, say, a planet that's been invaded. You've got lots
Oh
of
my
defeaters coming
gosh.
off the planet. There's always that fear that there's going to be either a Lictor hidden on board, you know,
Is it gonna be
organised
like,
in the hold,
can you buy
or
them in
there's gonna be some
pairs?
Genestealers on board, and I'm honestly not sure
Look
which is
at-
worse.
This
Yeah,
thing
so
looks
they've,
wicked.
Some options in the kit as well, which you can see there. So the first lictor we saw very kind of, I suppose, poised and ready to pounce with
Yes.
the arms out. This one in the Behemoth color scheme is much more kind of crouched. So this one looks like it's mid-stealth sort of thing. So you can imagine them tucked into the shadow in a rock somewhere, or kind of scouting around the edge of a building. They're quite big models, so these are
Wow.
slightly bigger than Tyranid warriors, so they're standing taller than like a Terminator or something. So even one lictor jumping onto a squad or something is usually enough to kind of take out a small
Oh my
infantry squad
gosh.
or threaten small vehicles and things like that. In game terms, they've got some really fun mechanics to kind of represent some of that stuff. So they get infiltrate,
Yeah.
which means they can start kind of wherever they want to.
Oh my, he just
Well,
looks so
Not
cool.
anywhere, but quite a lot of places.
Come
They
in
have,
packs of 2,
strike
please.
first, which means
Please
that
come
even
in
when they get
packs of
charged, they
2.
get to kind of fight you first. They got lone operative, which means they're quite hard to pick out and target. They got stealth, which means they're harder to hit. They've got precision, on their weapons. So that means that when they fight an enemy unit, you could basically like pick out the commanders and eat those first, which is really cool. And then to go along with that, they've also got an ability that when you kill
grab my
enemy
other
characters,
lictor.
you gain command points, which basically represents you eating the brain of the commander and getting vital intel sort of thing. So all that cool lore that lictors have always had
Got good old
is actually
lictor
really
right
well
here,
represented
looking at him.
in the way that they play in the game now, which is really cool. But it's not just lictors, we've got more cool stuff.
What is this thing? What is this?
This guy. So this
A
is a
neurolictor.
neurolictor. So this is a brand new thing. We've never seen this guy before. It is a new variant on the kind of lictor genus. Alex, what do we know about neurolictors?
So neurolictors, yes, they're essentially a variant of the lictor, and their deal is basically to sow terror and confusion. If anybody was on the Leviathan, the big Leviathan live we did, I did a bit of a reading that involved one of the neurolictors. And one of the things they like to do in lore is say you've got a battle line of troops, they'll spike them. Basically, it's referred to by the Imperials as the mark of the neurolictor. And basically, a bunch of the
I'm
guys on the
listening.
line turn their weapons on their friends. They're panicked. You know, they forget what they've seen. You know, they might let other Vanguard organisms through. Basically, it sows terror and confusion. And on the battlefield as well, you know, if you're playing them on the tabletop, they can force enemy units to take battle shock tests, and if they fail the battle shock tests, some pretty dire things can happen.
Yeah, so it combos really nicely with some of the other abilities that you've got with Tyranids, that they do have a lot of kind of
He does
battle
have
shock
that pose.
mechanics, don't they?
Yes.
So like if you failed a battle shock, then X happens, and they've got other ways of making you take battle shock tests and having
I
bonuses
like
to
that.
hits or minuses to you if you
It's
take a battle
weird.
shock.
I have a feeling
And
it's
this is
not going to be
basically
super
another
competitive, but
unit
that
does
looks
some of that
cool.
stuff. It also fights pretty well, so it's
yes.
still a lictor, so it's still got your kind of precision attacks and your infiltrating and your fights first and all that sort of thing. So it's another if you want to
Funky.
lean very heavily into the kind of lictor archetype.
What a
and have
funky
multiple
little thing.
Vanguard organism-y things in your army, then this is a psychic tool that you can add to the already pretty horrible combat tools that you've got.
Yeah, it is. It's like a red
There he is,
pear
in a cool colour
parasite
scheme there,
lictor.
just chowing down on some
Neurothroat.
Drakari.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah, but very, very cool
Funky.
model. You can see the back of the model there. There's
Bro.
a weird kind of
Oh my
parasitic
gosh.
symbiote psychic thing. The more you look at
TriStar.
the models, the more you
Holy
find
crap.
kind of weird.
Thank you so
psychic
much.
organism
That is
parasites
that's going to go
and
right
stuff,
towards
like,
these
all-
new
it's-
bugs.
there's
That is
loads
being
of
saved for this.
I've
I
said
will
before,
buy
like, you can
these
absolutely
bugs
paint them very quickly
with
and just
that.
go,
Oh my
"There's some
gosh.
bits that are purple,
Thank
some
you,
bits that are brown
TriStar.
colour,"
Woo.
or you can really spend your time and kind of paint all these weird little
Oh my
parasites
gosh.
and symbiotes.
What a oh my
minor organisms and
gosh.
all sorts of different colours if you
TriStar.
wanted to.
Round of
So
applause
there's
for
been a real expansion
TriStar.
of kind of the
Thank
psychic
you.
organisms
Yes.
with Leviathans.
Oh my
and
A
God.
lot of
Ah.
brain,
intrusion.
a lot of big glowing alien
Yes.
brain in the new Tyranids. Cool. So we've seen this model before. This is a
Death
Death
Leaper
Leaper.
does look awesome.
So the reason we've brought him back is just to give you a piece of information about how the Tyranid army
Oh
can
my
work.
gosh.
So obviously we've got the Von Ryan's Leapers, we've got Lictors, we've got the Neurolictor.
Oh, I'm saving
and
money.
if you wanted to as well, you've got the Imgar.
Oh, I'm
Genestealers,
saving
which you
the
can give
money.
kind of lictory looking tentacle faces.
Ooh, boy.
One of the ways that you will be able to play the Tyranid army when the Codex releases is you can effectively make them a Vanguard force. And what that does is it gives you a bunch of bonuses to your Vanguard style organisms like Lictors and Death Leapers and Neurolictors, and you've got enough models now that actually you can kind of just have those if you want. If you just want a kind of mantis strikey weird army, you can absolutely do that.
You guys hear that?
If you do that and you choose to take that kind of army, you can take Death Leaper as your general.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool. So this guy
Oh,
basically is
baby,
your,
we're doing that.
Vanguard commander, I guess.
A Vanguard
he wraps up all the
detachment
rest of those Lictor style genus,
with Death Leaper as your
species
warlord?
under his banner
that
into
sounds
probably
good.
one of the most horrific
we're
armies
doing
to
that.
fight against in the
Oh,
entire
we're
galaxy. And
Lictors.
that's saying something.
Oh,
'cause the
we're
galaxy's
doing
massive.
that.
So this guy, yeah, he's basically an advanced lictor, and instead of just doing the kind of lictory stealth, highly accumulated
30
thing, this guy's
Genestealers,
all
a
about
bunch
terror.
of
So
Lictors.
if one of your commanders has been assassinated, and you know it was a lictor,
Oh,
it may very well have been this guy.
baby.
He's going to leave corpses everywhere. He's going to devour heads. But as you
That
say,
would
there's a
be
really
so
nice
cool.
balance between, say,
Your
having
entire
this
army
chap, leading
infiltrates
your Vanguard organisms,
or
things
scout
left and right,
moves.
regular lictors going around. You know,
That would be
standing
so
lines,
cool.
But then at the same time, the Neurolictor coming in.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And your commander, if he's not been killed yet, he's going to go crazy. And you can imagine that once your command structure's gone, how easy it's going to be
Oh,
for
this
the
is so
rest of the
cool.
hive to come in and wipe out everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, very exciting stuff for Tyranid players. Some really interesting ways to approach that army too. I think also I have a treat for painters there as well. If you're going to go for
New Biovore on the website.
really
I'm not
lean
looking
into
at
a
it.
kind of
We're
chameleonic
watching
style,
the
there's lots of
reveals.
very interesting ways you could approach the paint scheme for that. It'd be cool. Right. We're not done yet. We've got some more things. So we've seen the line troops. We've seen the
We
strike
don't know
troops,
what the
we've seen
new
infiltrating
detachment
troops.
does,
They are going to
really,
need some
but
fire support.
Yes.
Fire
So
support.
let's have a look at our
Pyrovore,
next video.
Biovore, here we go. Oh. What? Oh my gosh. What is that? That's a Pyrovore?
So, as I think Raph said before we started this stream, bug guns never tire, which I thought was a great line. So, there we are. So, these are the new artillery beasts for the Tyranids. They are both refreshes, but really significant miniature refreshes of some classic units. So, first off, we've got the Biovore. So, Biovore has been part of the Tyranid army since, I think, 2nd edition. Changed a few times over the years in terms of its aesthetic. I remember a very early one, and then it kind of became a bit orky, and then it became a little bit less orky, and now it is a very different kind of aesthetic, but one that I think is very cool and kind of
look at
absolutely
that
keeping with the idea
gun.
Delivering artillery.
Looks like a rail
it
gun.
looks like a kind of heavy thing, doesn't it? That kind
Yes.
of beds in, sort of ticks into the ground and
Those
fires.
big claws you can see ramming into the ground to
Well,
that stability.
Yeah. So what
My
do you know about
Biovores
Biovore?
are
So the
nothing
Biovores,
like that.
big living artillery pieces, after anchoring themselves into the ground with those big long kiting spurs. As you can see there in the bottom right, those are the spore mines. So they're basically
That is
pointed in
insane.
that sort of egg sacky looking bit at the back of the gun, and then there's a massive muscle spasm as they fire them out. And then the spore mines drift across the battlefield, and if they don't land
Major
and
changes
explode,
indeed.
they will float along and then explode.
Yeah. So if we talk about the miniature for a little bit to start with. So this is really different looking, I think, from the previous Biovore.
Yes.
So it has much more of a kind of almost crab-like insectoid aesthetic,
Yes,
doesn't it? Which
there's an almost tank-like feel because it's got almost like a beetle shell to it. You can imagine it scuttling, whereas before it was
Master
almost
Chief
longer.
helmet.
yeah, a bit clumsy almost.
Yeah.
So
I don't
obviously
know,
one of the things about
Betsy.
Tyranids is that they evolve, they get better at whatever the form is that they need to take to do the job properly. They'll eventually kind of reach it. The cannon on the back looks like it means business as well.
Oh,
Like, it is a
yes.
pretty scary looking gun.
I mean, it's got to shoot a spore mine out of there.
In game terms, these do a few things for you. So people who've been playing Tyranids for a long time will be kind of familiar with the concepts, but fundamentally it does a couple of things for you. The first thing it does is it gives you some long-range artillery support. Crucially, it can fire at stuff that it can't see, so that's really useful. It's got indirect fire. That's great for kind of catching little enemy units that are hiding in buildings and sitting on
Oh, the
objectives. thinking
spore
they're quite
mines
happy.
have the halo helmets.
The
Oh,
other thing that
funny.
it does, which
I
is
see
really
it
useful,
now.
is that you can litter spore mines around the battlefield, and that's great because you can block off bits of the battlefield and do clever stuff with blocking enemy units and making them have to take damage if they move to certain places, and just
Oh my
mind
gosh.
games basically. So
Yes.
it does more for you than if it was just a
Wow.
big gun on the back of a bug.
That's it.
So very cool. So that's
There's
one way
my
you can build the kit.
Biovore.
This is a dual kit. You can also
Dual
build
kit.
it as a Pyrovore.
Oh.
So this is a looks
Oh my
sort of
gosh.
similar on the face of it, but has a very different battlefield role. Alex, what's a Pyrovore?
So these guys get a little bit closer. These are essentially pre-digestion beasts. Some of
That's
these
so
little feed
cool.
beasts, that come along afterwards and they gobble up all the biomass.
Oh my
These
gosh.
guys basically get there first, spread the digestive juices to start melting things down, get access to all those juicy nutrients and stuff.
Oh
thereafter.
my gosh.
So,
It's like
TriStar,
when
the
you
only
put
thing you
vinegar on
missed
chips
was
before
new
you start.
termagants
Yeah,
and hormagants.
and yeah, so these guys are basically
Like, even
dripping
more
with
new
acid,
termagants.
and the big gun on top, instead of firing spore
Wow.
mines, basically fires out
That looks so
burning
cool.
chemical, flame that can incinerate everything around it.
I guess these
Then
little guys are
after it's
going to
done
be,
that, come along, gobble up all the flame.
I don't know,
Nice,
display
lovely.
pieces now.
So in game terms, this has almost the opposite role from the Biovore. The Biovore sits at the back of the battlefield, probably on your kind of backfield.
These things better have, like,
across the
two-up
battlefield.
saves now.
This is the opposite. This is scuttling forward or podding in with a Tyrannocyte or something.
Total-
and then basically forming the
Total
part
refresh
your
of
early
the
assault. So
data
this is
sheets for
softening up the
Pyrovores
enemy
and
for,
Biovores, I'm pretty sure.
either for eating or for assault phase or something like that. It also, in game terms, it's got an ability to kind of take away enemy cover saves. So you can imagine it's kind of literally burning through there.
Can you
If you're trying to
magnetize
hide
this
behind
kit?
a tree, all of a sudden the tree is covered in weird biological
Yes, new
acid,
horror
and it's
guns,
now
they
just
look
a little
great.
steaming puddle, and you're exposed to the firepower of the rest of the Tyranid forces.
One of my favourite things about this is,
Oh.
as it did before, is that because it's so stuffed full of these kind of like explosive gases, even if you do manage to kill it, it could explode and kill you.
Yes, it can
Oh,
also
and your
explode and kill your own
Genestealers.
troops.
I totally
so
forgot
you do need to be a little
Genestealers,
bit
yeah.
careful
That is
about
true.
exactly where you put them. So if you've got little squads of these running around, there is a danger sometimes that they can do a little bit of damage to.
Wow.
Which is why you want to throw them right into the middle of the enemy early on,
Oh
so that
my
when
gosh.
they explode, it's the enemy that take the hits. But yes, relatively expendable, I suppose. So you're probably dropping these in alongside some Tyranid warriors or some Genestealers or something like that, so they kind of support them, but close range fire support basically.
That's it. Soften up the target.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Very cool. Okay, so we've seen loads of stuff. So
We got
far.
20
We've
minutes
seen new
still.
Genestealers, we've seen new Gaunts, we've seen loads of new Lictors, we've seen some fire support. Next up, the last of our Tyranid previews. We have the largest new miniature
The
of day
last?
for the Tyranids. Let's take a look at our last model.
This is it? Oh my god. Oh, okay. Oh! Eliminate their elites.
So that was the Norn Emissary. This is a terrifying, giant new synapse psychic monster. Does everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's huge new
Okay.
terror for the Tyranids. So, Alex, what do we know about a Norn Emissary?
Whoa!
So when the Hive fleet wants something done and they want it done right, they're going to send one of these. So when we think of like a big
Look at
synapse
that.
creature, we think of it like as a leader bug. It's going to be in charge of a part of the army, or it's going to be a monstrous creature that performs some sort of task.
Wicked.
as part of the army. But not these guys. These guys are created for a very specific purpose, and they're given essentially a level of individuality, so they can make decisions on the fly to benefit them,
Wow.
to complete their mission, which is something you don't really see with any of the Tyranids. They're not given any kind of self-control, whereas the emissary is basically given whatever leeway it needs to.
It's got some
complete its task.
really
So the emissary in
gross-looking
particular
talons
tends
there.
to be sent after enemy commanders. They're sort of a supersized assassin, and you can see from that brain that they've got some pretty potent psychic potential.
Yeah. So if we can have a look at the model to start with, this is a big kit. So like
Vanguard died for
hefty
this.
base, this guy stands taller than a Wraith Lord basically on the
Shit.
battlefield.
What
So
size base did you
it's
say?
a big old monster. Standing
Wait,
taller
stands
than things
taller than a Wraith
like,
Lord?
anything else
Oh
is
wait,
plastic basically in your current
that's
Tyranid
not that
army.
big.
He's got loads of weaponry for kind of up close killing. So he's got this huge, great scythes. He's got his claws. He's got some pretty significant ranged psychic firepower as well. So when you come up against this
Ooh.
guy,
Oh,
he's going
look
to be
at that
blasting
back
you with
of
kind of
him.
psychic bolts as well. As we've seen with some of the other kits for the Tyranids, there are loads of like really lovely, luscious little details all over this in terms of the way that what initially looks to be one creature is actually like a composite of loads of
What
different
the
symbiotes.
heck?
So you look on the back there and you've got weird little, I guess they're kind of psychic booster brain things.
But those could individually each be another creature.
Look
I
at
mean, they
the,
probably are.
the,
Yeah, so if you just
the
want to make it
plumes on that, the
capable,
weird,
just
gross
keep that in mind.
talons.
Yeah, so maybe each one of those is like a detail of the task or something. Like this one knows all the planetary codes for the.
That's
the
it.
world
Would
you're
it be
trying
a
to go to, and this
Bellacore-sized
one,
base?
has all we know about the Codex Astartes. So if some of those space marines turn up, you can eat them, or something like that. A very impressive centerpiece kit. So. Tyranids have got loads of like big monster kits, and obviously one of the ways that you can play a Tyranid army is to kind of lean heavily into the kind of monster mash sort of style.
Yeah.
But this is absolutely, if you've got that kind of army, you want to have one of these at the centre of it. Because
Ooh,
it looks
boy, oh
very
boy.
imposing, very cool. Towers over something like enemy captains and champions and things like that. And has the strength and psychic
Wow.
to basically take on pretty much anything in the game. Like this is one of the kind of alpha units, I guess, of the
This is There's just so
but
much
this
going
is
on
this
with
is a
this
dual
model.
kit.
It is indeed.
So
Dual
there's
kit.
two things you can make. So the Norn Emissary is the first one, a kind of honed precision killer. The other unit you can make with this is the Norn Assimilator. So
What
Alex,
the
what's the Norn
heck?
Assimilator?
So the Norn Assimilator is basically similar in task to the Emissary, whereby it's got a specific task, a specific
the
target that it needs to take
heck is
out.
this thing?
But rather than necessarily a commander, it might be an enemy monster, or a vehicle, or a fortification. So
It's much less subtle.
yes, so where the Emissary is almost akin to a sniper taking out a key target, this is like sending a bulldozer to make sure that whatever gets hit
What?
gets crushed. And as you can see there, there's some pretty tasty differences between the kits. He's not equipped with all of the psychic brains, as it were.
He's got brawn.
Yes,
He's got
he does.
Whoa.
You can see the two weapons on the bottom are his toxin injector harpoons. Now these
Toxin injector
absolute
harpoons.
and they're going to go through anything they hit. And you can see he's got those barbs on the chest as well, so if anybody tries to get away from him, he can strike them and drag them back.
Yeah, and there's a kind of toxic feel to this model
Yes.
as well. Aren't there? So on the base, obviously, you've got that kind of burning, acidic look. But those harpoons there look like they're kind of primed with poison and things. So while you might
What?
send in the Norn Emissary to capture an enemy commander, this guy's not taking prisoners.
Oh, no.
He is like skewering enemy units and like ripping open bunkers and destroying everything that's inside. So he's just an absolute like battering ram.
Okay, so there's our size comparison.
So there you can see we talked about the scale of this guy. So that is
I have a Wraith
Wraith
Knight.
Lord.
Wraith Lord,
Lord's
one sec.
pretty big. They're
Pretty
about
big.
the same
Where is
height
he?
as a Redemptor, I think.
Yeah,
In that kind of ballpark.
Where's my
So,
Wraith Lord?
He's going to look
I'm
about
looking for
right,
him.
going toe to toe with like the kind of medium walkers. Maybe not quite the same height as something like a knight. But
Okay.
actually, the combat
I'm here.
output on some of these isn't too far off that kind of.
So we have a
ballpark.
Wraith Lord.
You could start to you can threaten pretty much anything in 40k. This guy.
But yeah, those toxin injector harpoons,
This is a Wraith
as you can
Lord.
imagine, as a harpoon, can be fired out at range, but simultaneously you can also use them in combat, and they're, you know, if anything, they're even worse.
Yeah.
But one of the big things with
He's
both
looking
of these
Trigon
kits
size, I'm
is
guessing.
that they have a single purpose. So whilst other
Beautiful.
you know, Tyranids might be like, take a planet, eat the things.
Kraken's the way
These
to
guys
go.
have been told, I just want that commander dead, I want that vehicle dead, and they'll send them after it. And as part of that, they get some special rules to do so. So when they are attacking their target, they'll get some re-rolls, or if they are specifically after an objective, they'll get a bit of a bonus.
Yeah, so they've got some play in game basically.
Yes.
So if you can either go, there is an enemy unit that I just absolutely want to. I know that if I kill that unit, that the game is going to go favourably for me. You can go this model and kill that unit, or you can go, this is the objective that the game is going to pivot around. I'm going to go for that objective. In which case you get bonuses to this unit's ability when it's near that objective.
That's it. As you said, I think even though he's maybe not quite got the height or the bulk of a knight, given his special rules, if he wants to target a knight, I don't think he's going to last long.
There you go. Okay, so that is
Ooh, to take out a
I
knight.
think sometimes you see new units added to Warhammer 40,000. You're like, that is going to be one of the things to watch.
Yes.
And if you're going to go Tyranids, you're going to be like, how can I find a place for this lovely gentleman in my force? And if you're going to go up against Tyranids, you're going to have to work out how you deal with a model like that. So that is our roundup for the Tyranids. So
That's
loads
it?
of great new miniatures.
Ah,
on the show
but-
there we had new Genestealers, new Gaunts,
But no,
new Lictors,
no
new living
strikes?
artillery, and new Norn Emissaries, which is very cool. So loads of stuff on the way.
no strikes.
Did you have a particular favourite?
Did I have a? So I like the Genestealers. Like it's all cool, but I think I've just got a soft spot for Genestealers. How about yourself, Alex?
I think the Neurolictor. I
Okay.
was torn between the Assimilator
Ooh.
and the Neurolictor, but there's just something about it. It's that kind of
I am
insidious
disappointed, though. There are
creature
no
that gets
strikes.
behind the lines and
I am a
causes
little
trouble. It's
disappointed in
the
that,
same
not gonna
stories you've
lie.
heard about Lictors for years, and now it's with a bit of psychic might behind it.
Very cool. Right, so all of those new Tyranid miniatures are on the way later this year. They all come out alongside the new Codex Tyranids, which we can confirm is the first Codex of the new edition. So if you've got a Tyranid force,
Why would they make a winged
paint up
prime
your
and not
Leviathan
show
army.
off
Have fun
strikes?
with that. Plenty more reinforcements on the way. Space Marine players, I know we didn't get to see any new Space Marines today. You know, you can't win them all. Literally can't win them all. But there's plenty new Space Marine miniatures on the way in the not too distant future, so we will still get to see all of those. They're still getting released. You just don't get to see them today. A big thank you for all of you who joined in. A special big thank you. If
No
you took part
strikes.
in the
We're
Battle
not
for Ogram
leaving right
campaign,
away when this is done.
battle. It's been really,
Well,
really
we're gonna
fun.
hang around and chat.
I'd like to say thank you for Alex for
Thank you
joining
for
us.
having me.
A big thank you to Nick for making sure all the tech worked, and a thank you for Notley in the chat for keeping you all honest. A reminder, if you are thinking of starting either a Tyranid or a Space Marine army, a couple of great box sets out there that you can do it with. There is the Leviathan box, which you will still be
make
able
a
to
poll,
find in
but
a
it
few
won't let
places.
me.
It is sold out online, but there are a few stores dotted around that still have a few copies. So get in touch with your local Warhammer store,
Maybe.
your local independent retailer, see if they still got copies. That box is a brilliant place to start either a Tyranid or a Space Marine Force.
All right, we're done with you guys. We are done. Oh, there's my score tracker. We'll just go right here for now. Okay. Let's talk about this. So yes, first off, big sad, no Shrikes. Why would they make a winged prime and not do Shrikes? We got, oh, thank you, Dean. Awesome member has summed up for us. We got Hormagaunts, we got Termagants, we got Lictors, we got the Neurolictor, Deathleaper, Pyrovore, Biovore, Norn Emissary, and Norn Assimilator. 10 units, I counted 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know what I was doing. 10 new units. Should have been 11 with the Shrikes. Rest in peace, Shrikes. I guess they're staying away. That is, I am sad that we aren't getting new Shrikes. Okay, so my initial thoughts. Hormagaunts look great. I'll probably buy a box of them at some point just to say, you know, I have them. So we have Termagants. I really, really like the Termagants. I like the spike rifles. I like the strangle webs for the flamers. Interesting to see what the barb gaunt gun does. I'm sure it doesn't give the same rule as the barb gaunts, but those are cool. And then obviously the Devourers. So maybe I'll buy a box of those or pick up all the extra bits to fill my Leviathan gaunts with them. Lictor looks really, really good. Can we pull up? Let me... Warhammer Community. Will they have all the images here so we can just go back and chat about all of these? Yes, they will. All right. Oh, I have to go from article to article? All right. Hormagaunts, I think they look good. Great. The spike rifle is pretty good there. Why wouldn't they just put this all in one article? Come on, guys. Come on. Oh, they're not all up here yet. No, okay. Genestealers. We've seen the Steelers. I think they look great as well. Again, I probably will pick up one eventually, but it's probably low priority for me. No Carnifexes. That's another thing. We did not get any Carnifexes, so Screamer Killers are going to be Screamer Killers, and the only big boy like that for a while, which in a way I'm okay with, because I really love the current Carnifex kit. Yes, Kyle made a good point. Those are what are releasing with the Codex. We could see more later. We could see a third wave later of more new bugs. We got our first wave with Leviathan. This is our second wave. We could be getting another wave later. They said these are all coming. The Codex, they said fall or autumn, I think is technically what they said. So for me, that would mean late September to October is when this stuff is going to be. Yeah, late September, probably early to mid-October is when I'm guessing this stuff is going to be happening. So you've got the rest of July, August, and September to save for all of this stuff. I'm really bad. Yep. Necrons had, the third wave from Necrons was like 9 months after the Codex. So maybe next year we'll see that final wave of them. I am just, ooh boy. The Winged Prime, everyone, yeah, we're all talking about the Winged Prime. What a huge disappointment. Not only is the Winged Prime a bad model, I mean, the model itself isn't bad, but the rules are bad, but it doesn't have its winged buddies to go with. How could you make a winged warrior and not a Winged Prime warrior and not make strikes? Baffling to me. Mid to late September. Yep, that was what I had in mind too. Okay, so yes, we had these guys. The Gaunts are great, and the Genestealers are good too. I think, like a lot of people saying, I think the Pyrovore Biovore is good. Ah, there's just so much. Show me the pictures more. Am I missing something? I'm missing stuff. I want to look at the pictures. I want to look at the stills. Oh well. Pyrovore Biovore was way out of left field. I was not anticipating, I mean, I was anticipating an update to the kit, but not in that regard. That looks wicked. We're going to have to see if we can magnetize that kit, because that is probably an that is probably an expensive kit. And if you can magnetize it, you're going to want to magnetize it, because you're probably going to want to pick up 2 or 3 of those, and I'm guessing they're sold individually. So, one at a time. So you're going to buy a lot of those. Those are going to be expensive. Those are probably going to be $40 kits or something like it. They do look super cool. The Lictor, I honestly really love the Lictor. The Neuro Lictor is cool too, but the base standard Lictor looks awesome. I'll have to probably pick him, Death Leaper, up as well. YouTube has the videos to all the models. That's a good point. So why? I just want articles. Oh, hey, they're coming. They're coming out slowly. Let's look at these guys. This guy just looks, I don't want to say it's simple, but it's just, it's awesome. And then you got another pose of one. Maybe you can, it must be 2. It must be you buy these in a pack of 2, which means Lictors could come in packs of 2, which is weird, but I like that. The Neurolictor is pretty cool too. The Neurolictor is pretty cool. Not my favorite thing in the world, but I do like him, and he would be pretty cool. Death Leaper, I'll definitely be picking up. Man, I don't have anything to write this down with. Definitely picking up Death Leaper. That is going to be one of them. Do you think the data sheets will change? I think some of the data sheets will change. Specifically, I bet the Pyrovore and Biovore kit might change a bit. I think. The collar? Oh, on the Lictor. That little bit. Yeah, that's true. It does increase his profile a bit. Maybe Death Leaper can join him. Maybe. It kind of defeats the purpose of the whole lone operative thing if they do come in packs, which is why I'm a little confused about it. But these guys are awesome. Come on. Refresh. Dang it. The Norn Emissary. Well, no. Do we want to talk about Norn Emissary? I want to talk about him for later. Let's talk about, the Pyrovore Biovore. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. I want to have the pictures to look at them. They look cool. I hope they update their data sheet to be a bit more tanky. Like, make them more expensive or something. Don't make them too much more expensive, but make them more expensive. Give them a tulip save. They look like they better have a tulip save. Maybe 5, 6, 7 wounds. That flamer better be good. That's a huge ass gun. It better be better than what the current Pyrovore kit is like. Maybe it should be like the what the 9th edition flamer was like. That would be great if the Pyrovore got that model and went back to the 9th edition flamer. Would love that. Refresh. Here we go. Bam. It's not working. Well, okay, so here's all the they're all up. Woo! Okay. Look at this thing. Look at it. It looks like a railgun. Now, obviously, it's you gotta fit a spore mine in there. Oh my gosh. Look at that. If you guys want to follow along here, let me... Oh, how did I do that? Interesting. There we go. I'll put this link in the comments here in case you guys want to... aren't following along yourselves. Man. It's so different. It's so different to what we're used to. That thing has got to have a wicked armor save. It does look sleek and clean, beautiful. 6 limbs. The halo head spore mines, especially, yeah, I see it. I do like that front profile. It looks pretty cool. I don't know, like the Biovore is cool, but this thing is it the same gun? It looks like it's not the same gun. I'm trying to, so this part here is different. So maybe the barrel, oh, that's going to be a tough one to magnetize maybe. T6 better be T6 save 3+. No. We're talking T7 2-up save. That's what these things better be. This one, this is cool. Biovore, I mean, they're so similar, but I really like these guys. Wow. Look at the paint on that Carnifex back there. Or is that just some weird lighting thing? I really like these things. They're so cool. How is this happening? What is happening here? How is this? Oh, it's news. Okay, and finally, GW will allow the old model to be used. There's nothing that says you can't, You, for better or worse, you'll probably have to stick them on the, if there's a new updated base size, stick them on there, but you'll probably be able to use your old Pyrovores. Okay. This, I gotta take some time to dive into this thing. It's got a sweet tail. Look at the hands on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them here. Look at the brain bug on the... Oops, that's not supposed to be there. That's for him. I think. Or is that supposed to be on him? Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. GW messed up. Yeah, look at that brain bug on the back. Man, that thing's got to be pumping out like... It better be like a zoanthrope. Like 2 or 3 zoanthropes at range all on his own. It's got to be pumping out like 3 last cannon shots or a 3d6 flamer or something just insane. They didn't say what the base size was. They said it's a big base. They didn't say what the base size was, but we do know from this image, in case you guys didn't see me do this before, that it is going to be roughly the size of a Trigon. So, just so you guys can get your comparison there, I would say it's roughly the size of the Trigon. Maybe the supersized chimneys are going to make it a bit taller, but yeah, that does look cool. Going back to this one, because this is the cooler one, in my opinion at least. I like that head. Just those those big meaty claws with an extra like joint in there, essentially. Hopefully you can really pose the crap out of that. Wraith Knight base size? No, it can't be a Wraith Knight base size. I don't think it's Wraith Knight base size. It's probably Silent King base size if I had to pick. It's probably the Silent King size base. Tyranids don't have anything that big, but that's probably what it is. You've got a little bit of every Tyranid in here. You've got Hive Tyrant, you've got Maleceptor, Zoanthrope, you've got Toxicrin with all of that. Oh, I love it. Now this one. Let's look at this thing. I'm gonna be honest, this one is pretty low on my list of them. It looks cool. I can't quite put my finger on what it reminds me of, but it looks cool. But what are these derpy little things here? This is the biggest thing that's throwing me for a loop. You guys can see my mouse, right? What are these derpy little arms just sticking out of the carapace? Maybe if you leave those off, it would look better for me, but these things lose it for me. They just look a little weird. The giant chimneys are monstrous. Oh, that's a nice side profile shot. Really see that carapace come together. Ooh, boy, oh boy. Yeah, I like the hands, I think. Where's his hand? I like that cool toxic hand. Toxin harpoon arm. The flesh hooks, I don't like the look of the flesh hooks sticking out, so maybe you can leave those off. It looks like you could probably leave those off. And I'm not so keen on the head. He looks a little silly, if I'm not gonna lie. And yes, you could magnetize this. Probably relatively easily. Relatively easy, you could magnetize. You have to get creative with big magnets and some pins in there. Let's see, sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat much. It better be a knight, strength 14, AP minus 3 shots for sure, yeah. Tactical seafood, yes, this whole base thing, I'm definitely going to be removing that from my kit and I'll probably use that on some other cool display piece. I don't like it. It's cool. It's a cool piece, but I don't like it with my bugs. So yeah, that'll have to go. Same thing here. This one will have to go as well. Don't have confidence that it'll have cool rules. It'll have cool rules. It'll have good rules. They'll make this thing overpowered because they'll have to sell. Will it be limited to 1 per army? That's a tough question. I'm assuming this one, what is it? Norn Emissary will be a 1 per army deal. I'm not convinced this will be a 1 per army. This one might not be. It depends on the keywords they get. Hoping to be closer. I mean, it's close to a Daimakar, and you could probably get away with proxying it. You'd have to, you know, ask your opponent if it's okay, but it'd be close. Yeah, the Norn Assimilator. This thing, you could probably in some way get away with it being a Daimakaran proxy. How will this interact with Swarmlord? I don't know. I don't know. You probably can take Swarmlord and a Norn Emissary, and you could probably take them all if you really wanted to. Roach Monster, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. That could be. Just wait until the dash sheet comes out. It'll have a D6 flamer with 6 attacks at AP minus 2, damage 2. Yeah, I'm hoping it's a bit better. I'm hoping they do it. They do it well. The itty bitty Moloclaws. Yes, you guys are right. These little derpy things. I don't like those. Just remove them. Remove these. Remove the flesh hooks because I think they're a little too busy. And it'll look like a cool little kit. Little, it's a big kit. Yes, I bet these harpoon things will have, these big harpoon claws will have some anti-monster vehicle kit. It's gotta have that, right? Man. So I don't know. What I plan on buying is definitely, we'll probably have to get 2 of these kits. And in time, we'll paint them up. In time. Unfortunately, I did not get an email from GW. Oh, wait. I doubt that's them. I did not get an email from GW saying that I won, so I will not be getting this kit, unfortunately, but we'll still buy it. Thank you, TriStar, for supporting the channel. I will buy one of these with that money, although I doubt this will cover all of it. We'll be buying one of these. I'll probably be buying a bunch of the Pyrovore Biovore kits. It's tough. It's tough. I don't know how things are gonna... So, my wallet, I also have a bunch of money I've been saving. However, I haven't been saving it for the Tyranids. I've been saving it for something else, but it might have to go towards this, and that something else will have to wait for maybe a year or less when I can financially recover, because we are on the saving train right now. That's for sure. I do think this thing looks cool. I will have to spend a serious amount of time taking some good, careful time painting this model up. This Norn Emissary. It looks good. It looks very good. So, in recap, I'll get back to this. Priority list, the Hormagaunts and the Termagants. Hormagaunts are probably my lowest priority, honestly, out of all of these. Genestealers are the second lowest priority for me. Termagants will be the next lowest. I'd like to buy 1 kit, or 1 or 2 kits, maybe, or if I can find the bits online, that would be cool. I'm sure that would be tough to do, but maybe it would be cheaper to do that. Then, we'll definitely be buying some of these Lictor boys. Death Leaper is a high priority. The new Lictor and other ones will have to be there. And then the, yep, buying a bunch of these, maybe three or four of them, 2 of each, I don't know, something like that. And we'll buy 2, I'm going to buy 2 of these kits. I'm going to have 1 of each of them, definitely. I love that it's a multi-part plastic kit. Store credit is about to be 0. Yes, I feel that when Leviathan came out, I zeroed almost all of my store credit at places to get these. I had like $140+ of store credit that I zeroed out. So it's good. Will I give this a full A+ reveal? No. I'm gonna give this a solid A- reveal. That's what I was saying. What are you guys gonna give this? What would you give this reveal? You can give it a letter grade, give it a 1 out of 10. I'd give it an A- or maybe A-. So I guess that's technically a 9 out of 10. Maybe give it a 8 out of 10. The only thing that's really holding me back is the strikes. No strikes was a big disappointment. I wish we got more strikes, or we got new strikes, but that does mean I don't have to buy new strikes right away, and I can hold off on it. Otherwise, everything else looks great. I can't complain about the models that were shown off, but A- only for missing out on strikes. Maybe I'll do another video once I collect my thoughts on my summed up review, and I'll put it out on Monday of my tier ranking or how I think all of these models are. But yeah, this is a great reveal. It's been a long time since we had a reveal like this for Tyranids. I mean, gosh, I was in high school last time we had something like this. So I'm looking forward to hopefully there being a bit more. Looking for the codex. For me, yeah, only 2 new units. 3 technically with the Neural Leaper thing. Neural Lictor. I think seeing all these new kits and knowing the new codex is around the corner in like 2 months or so. I don't really care about the competitive scene for the Tyranids because our codex is right around the corner. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to make some competitive lists, or I'm going to practice on it. But I don't think I'll hit the ground in serious competitive mode until the new codex drops and we see all of these new units. Well, all of these new rules and stuff, because yeah, I really like these ones. Sorry, I get distracted reading the chat. Relived new models. Yeah, old Blavor sucked. Sucked big booty. And this new one is just a whole nother level. The Lictor is going to be a multi-part kit, but I don't know if it's going to be like I don't think you can build this with the Lictor. I think it's 3 kits. Oh, hey, look at this. I think it's 3 kits, but there's multiple options in the Lictor kit. The guns are exciting on the Termagants. Yeah, I think that's all I've got. I'm happy. I'm happy. So maybe we'll leave the chat in there. I'll get some things down. I'll clear my thoughts. Think about this a bit more. Plan out my wallet. Just getting eviscerated here in a bit. And stay tuned to the channel. We've got Battle Report soonish, coming in a week out. And we've got, I'll do some more recaps on this stuff. So yeah, oh yeah, Dean's got it there. We've got 8 completely new kits and 15 refresh kits. Biggest rules hope? Biggest rules. I think I'm really curious to see what the new detachments do. That's my biggest hope, because right now our detachment rule is it's not great. It's fun to have that exploding 6s on infantry, but I am super looking forward to the new detachment rules. That's my thing. That's my thing. That's what I'll leave it off with. I want to see that infiltration detachment, and they did say there will be a monster detachment, so I want to see what that brings. True monster mash again, probably not as competitive Crusher Stampede, but still good. And an infiltration detachment is going to be absolutely awesome. So we'll see what the rules entail. Not too long we have to wait. I got to paint some models from the Leviathan box so I can get them on the on the table for you guys, because I have honestly barely touched the Leviathan box in terms of painting. I've just been so busy trying to get like the studio going and the rest of my house and everything, so things are looking good. I am looking forward to it. Price-wise, things are going to be expensive. I'm guessing that Norn is probably upwards of $120 US, but maybe we'll see. I'll probably think about that in the video, what things will come out. I'll do a video on Monday. I'll kind of break out what I think prices are going to be and my guesses and all of that. I think I'm pretty good at guessing, so yes. Let's go. Tyranids won. Tyranids got the new models. I was thinking they were going to show Space Marines 2 today, but we didn't. That's okay. We got Tyranids. We won. We didn't have a lame stream. We had a fun stream. A fun Tyranid based stream. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you again, TriStar. Really means a lot to see such an insane amount of support. So, and everyone else for liking, subscribing if you haven't. And yeah, it's going to be good. I'll catch you guys around on more videos, hopefully more live streams, and eventually some live stream battle reports. Those will be fun. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next time here at Maelstrom Gaming Studios.